Fáilte, uicha hamna, darklings. I hope your pumpkins are carved and your cauldrons are stirred, because the spooky season is upon us. And ghouls, do I have a freak show for you. With the Halloween season upon us, my fellow creatures of the night, on this channel we plan to celebrate. So join me, darklings, as we creep on into our first ever Spooktober. I live alone in a small apartment, having moved from my parents' home about 2 years ago. Not very far away, mind you. In fact, it's just a short walk, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. 2 years have passed, and I've pretty much adapted to my new lifestyle, though I admit I'm still lazy when it comes to cooking, and I often find myself going to the restaurant that's a minute away from where I live, rather than preparing my own meals. Lazy, I know. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about my lifestyle. Instead, I'm here to tell you about some crazy events that happened to me, and see if anyone has any explanation. It all started about 2 weeks ago, on a sunny Monday morning. I was working from home that day, so I was setting up my computer and getting ready to do my job. Suddenly, I received a call on my phone from an unknown number. I never bother answering calls from people I don't know, so I let it ring, and after they hung up, I blocked the number. But a few minutes later, I received another call from a different number, which I still did not recognize. I waited till they hung up again, and blocked the new number. Once again, a few minutes later, I got a third call from yet another unknown number. Clearly, whoever was calling me had no intention of leaving me alone, so I decided to take the call and see what they want. Hello? Good morning, sir. My name is Larry, and I'm calling you from the company Smiling Joy, said a high-pitched man's voice that I didn't recognize. Perhaps you've heard of us. No, I haven't. What do you want? You already called me twice from 2 other numbers. Can you not see I'm busy? Ah, so you did get the other 2 calls. It's not very polite to not pick up the phone when somebody calls you, you know? Anyway, I'll go straight to the point. We are a company that makes games. Board games, video games, sports. We do it all. And you've been selected to be part of our latest game. A horror and mystery game. A game that I can only describe as very interesting, to say the least. It's a game that we're sure people will enjoy, but we have to get some people to test it first. And that's why you have been selected. I'm not interested. Find someone else, I coldly replied. I don't think you understand, sir, said the voice, seemingly disappointed in my answer. I didn't ask you if you wanted to be part of it. I said you had already been selected. You are already part of our game. So please, smile a little, and let me explain the rules. First, you're going to— Not interested, I said in anger, before hanging up, and this time, just to be sure he wouldn't call back, I turned off my phone. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have done that, but at the time, I thought Larry was just another scammer. I googled Smiling Joy to learn more about their company. I found their website. They are a company that specialises in entertainment. Video games, board games, sports equipment, movies, all kinds of things. Odd, I thought, since I've been playing video games since I was a kid, and I've never heard of a game by Smiling Joy. Also, their website did not offer any contact information, or directions, or company directory, so it was probably a phony company, confirming my suspicions that Larry was a scammer who probably wanted my credit card number or other information. It was now lunchtime, and I needed to take a break to try and forget about this scammer, so I decided to go to a nearby restaurant that's only a short walk away from my apartment. I'm a regular at that restaurant because, as I've explained earlier, I don't really like cooking. So this is usually where I go when I want to eat something more elaborate than a peanut butter sandwich. I took a seat, and minutes later, Cindy came to take my order. She is a young, short, brown-haired waitress with whom I have become quite acquainted with over the past 2 years. Thanks to me being a regular. You could say we have become good friends. Maybe if I find the courage to date her, we'll become more than just friends. Anyway, back to the story.
Hey V, what's up?
She said in her usual cheerful voice. V is the nickname that my friends and colleagues have given me. In fact, I've been called V since elementary school, and to this day, it's still how most people call me. Oh, not much. I just received a call from some weird scammer this morning. A guy named Larry. Said he wanted me to be part of some game or something.
A game? What kind of game?
She asked. I don't know. He was about to explain the rules, but I hung up before he could say anything.
I see.
She replied. She seemed disinterested. I checked the company website, but they don't have any contact information. They don't even have an address. Clearly it's a scam.
I see.
She replied. You're not listening to me, are you?
Oh, I am,
She said.
Your story is very interesting.
She said while staring at me with wide-opened, unblinking eyes. And then she smiled, an eerie, creepy smile. Cindy? I said in a trembling voice, unnerved by her strange behavior. Suddenly, she picked up a knife that was on the table and swung at me. She missed me, and I stood up, shocked. What's going on here? Did she just try to stab me with a knife? But before I could make any sense of the situation, she tried to stab me again, and I managed to dodge once more, and then I screamed, "Help! The waitress is attacking me!" I shouted, while Cindy was staring at me with those unblinking eyes and smiling. But no one reacted. The other customers were just eating their meals as if nothing happened. Nobody was looking our way or paying attention. What the? I thought, but then she rushed towards me again. She was moving fast, almost unnaturally so, not saying a word, only staring at me and smiling. I ran away as fast as I could, outside the restaurant, but she was chasing me and catching up. I took my phone and I tried to call 911, but I had turned off the phone and forgot to turn it back on. Damn! I put the phone back in my pocket and ran as fast as I could. I was sweating and my legs were aching, but I endured the pain. Survival was all I cared about. I looked behind me. She was still chasing me and always smiling. She didn't seem weary or anything. It was only a matter of time before she caught up to me. I needed a place to hide, and fast. As I mentioned earlier, my parents live very close by, so I thought this was the best place to hide. I ran towards my parents' house as quickly as I could, using every bit of adrenaline I could muster, praying that I wouldn't pass out. Somehow I made it to my parents' house. I frantically knocked on the door and rang the doorbell several times. My mum opened the door. "V, what's going on?" she asked. "No time to explain. Cindy has gone crazy. She's chasing me." I rushed into the house as my mum locked the door. I fell on the couch, out of breath, as my mum brought me a glass of water. I spent the next several minutes catching my breath and trying to piece together what had happened. I looked outside the window and there was no sign of Cindy. Seems like she was gone. For now, at least. "V, you've got to explain what's going on. Who are you running away from? What happened?" she asked, concerned. "I don't know. I just went to the restaurant. Cindy came to my table to take my order. We talked for a bit, and then she just stared at me." and had this creepy smile on her face. She picked up a knife and tried to stab me. I ran away. She chased me all the way here. My mum stood up and looked outside the window. I don't see anybody. Are you sure it's not your whiskey that's getting to your head? Or maybe you just need a girlfriend. She laughed. It's not funny, Mom. It's real. Right after I told her about this weird scam call, she attacked me. Scam call? Mom asked. Yeah, this morning. I got a call from some guy named Larry. Said he was calling from some game company and that I had been selected. Game company? She asked. I don't know, Smiling Joy it was called. But their company doesn't have an address or contact information, so it has to be fake. Fake? She asked. Yeah, fake. I paused as I felt a chill down my spine. Something was wrong with my mom. She was making the same kind of disinterested replies that Cindy made when I spoke about Larry's call. I had a very bad feeling about this. Anyway, I guess I'll just go back home now. Oh, please, stay for a while, she said. I find your story very interesting. And then she smiled. The same eerie smile that Cindy had when she attacked me. She went into the kitchen and picked up a knife. She was approaching me slowly, smiling. Dad! Help! I screamed, but my dad didn't come. I knew he was in the house. I could hear him from the basement downstairs, but he ignored my cry for help. It was just like at the restaurant. As I unlocked the door, Mum threw the knife at me. Ah! I screamed as the blade pierced my shoulder. My arm was covered in blood. I managed to open the door. However, Cindy was waiting for me right outside. Meanwhile, my mum took another knife from the kitchen, and she was approaching me from behind. I was now trapped between two knife-crazy, eerie, smiling women, and just as I was wondering how I would escape this predicament, I heard the sound of a text message on my phone. Strange, as I hadn't turned my phone back on. I picked up the phone and checked the text message. It was from the same number that Larry used for his third call. Game over. As I was reading the message, I felt a bleed in my stomach. Cindy had just stabbed me and was looking at my pained face, smiling. Then another knife pierced my back, and I fell to the ground. The two women, Cindy and my mum, were looking at me, smiling, and then I passed out. I don't know what happened next, and how long I was unconscious. All I know is that when I regained consciousness, I was back in my apartment, on my chair, in front of my computer. The time was around 2 p.m. I wasn't feeling any pain in my shoulder, stomach, or back, and there wasn't any blood. It couldn't have just been a dream, could it? No, I couldn't accept this ending. I looked at my phone's blacklisted numbers and I found the two blocked numbers from Larry's first two calls. I then Googled Smiling Joy again and found their webpage. It was still online, but this time there was something different. There was a company address as well as a Contact Us tab, which I clicked. There I found some contacts, and one of them was Larry Johnson, marketing agent. That had to be him. I tried calling him, but no answer. A few minutes later I tried calling again, but he didn't pick up. A few more minutes, and I made a third call. This time, he answered.
Hello? You already called me twice. Can't you see I'm busy?
He said in a sarcastic, high-pitched voice. Very funny,
Ha! Now we're even,
he said, laughing.
So what can I do for you? Changed your mind about trying our game?
Don't play dumb, Larry. If you don't explain yourself, I'm calling the police.
Uh-huh. What are you talking about?
He said, genuinely surprised. You heard me. The waitress chasing me. My mom throwing a knife at me. Their creepy smiles. That game over message. What is the meaning of all this?
What?
He exclaimed.
How did you... What you just described is exactly what happens in our new horror game. It sounds like you've already played it. Who are you, sir? How do you know our game?
I was extremely confused by this unexpected answer.
I suggest you explain yourself, sir, or I'm the one who's gonna call the police.
Larry threatened. I hung up and then blacklisted every number that I could find from Smiling Joy's website. I didn't get any other call from them, and haven't heard from Larry or anyone else in the past 2 weeks. I guess he didn't call the police after all, and neither did I. Everything is back to normal now. I'm still not sure how to explain what happened. If anyone has any idea, please let me know. Thanks for joining me for tonight's tale, Darklings. I am GoblinPrincessKyo, and if you enjoyed our encounter, then subscribe for more accounts and tales from the darker side of life. Ah, the broom fell. Company is coming. Sweet dreams. Meet you back at midnight.